Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a much warmer pattern which is going to be overtaking the northern and eastern United States, especially if you live in the Midwest or the northern plains, where some of those areas could be getting up near 100 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. The only areas that might miss out on these chillier or on these warmer temperatures are going to be in the southern plains and in the northwest, where you guys will be dealing with some chillier and cooler weather. But other than that, the rest of the country looks like it's going into a much warmer pattern. We're going to have all that information and more in today's video, so make sure you are staying tuned all the way until the end. Here's what the current National Weather Service page looks like. As you can see, in parts of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, as well as Montana, we have some heat advisories. We also have a few more scattered through parts of California and Utah. We have excessive heat warnings in that dark pink color for parts, or that dark pink or purple color for parts of California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and Idaho, as well as a little bit of Oregon. And then we have a couple red flag warnings in effect for southeastern Oregon as well. We have flood watches in effect for parts of the mid-Atlantic, as well as parts of coastal North Carolina and coastal Virginia, and that's for some severe weather that's going to be taking place today in those areas. But other than that, we don't have many other watches or warnings currently in place. Yesterday, we had a tied high temperature between Death Valley, California, and Stovepipe Wells, California, both of them right near Death Valley National Park. So they're right next to each other, and they both got up to 118 degrees Fahrenheit. The national low temperature was 9 miles south of Albany, Wyoming, where they got down to 26 degrees Fahrenheit. That's in southernmost parts of Wyoming and some of the higher elevations. And the highest rainfall report was in St. Francis, Arkansas, where they got 4.57 inches of rainfall. No snowfall reports yesterday. So here's what the European model is showing for the temperature anomalies. And this is basically a way of showing how far above or below normal the temperatures are expected to be. And I think this is a good tool to measure not only what the actual temperatures are going to be, but also it's a way of measuring or figuring out where these warmer and colder air masses are going to be, and it helps you track them out on the screen a little bit more. So I'm going to be taking you through this over the next about 7 to 8 days, and we're going to kind of time this out a little bit. In the oranges, the reds, and also the browns, that's where we have those warmer than normal temperatures. And you can see that currently through the northern half of the country and into the west. And then in the southern plains and the southeast, we have some of those colder than normal temperatures. And that's indicated by the blues, the greens, and kind of that purple or pink shade there. So that's where we're dealing with the below normal or colder than normal temperatures. And then again, in that red and brown color, that's where we're dealing with those above normal temperatures. So you can see that for tomorrow, we're expecting those above normal temperatures to really be centered, especially over the northern plains and also parts of the Rockies in the west. So that's going to be our main area of above normal temperatures for tomorrow. You are going to start to see that the northwest gets in on some of the chillier temperatures. So we have a colder air mass that's currently in British Columbia, Canada, and that'll be heading further southeast. You might get a few degrees below normal, but again, it won't be anything too extreme or major. It still will be mild enough and nothing that's going to bring your temperatures all the way down into, let's say, the 30s or the 40s. So your temperatures will still stay fairly close to normal or fairly reasonable. In parts of the southeast and the southern plains, that's where we have those fairly below normal temperatures, especially in areas like Texas, Louisiana, and even into parts of New Mexico and Oklahoma, where you guys have been under those below normal temperatures for quite a while, and it looks like it might continue for a little bit longer. Here would be by Saturday of this week, and you can see that we still have those above normal temperatures into the northern half of the U.S., but we are starting to see also some parts of southern Canada get in on some of those warmer than normal temperatures. The biggest area or the highest above normal temperatures are going to be in parts of the northern plains. So these areas are going to be closer to 25, even 30 degrees Fahrenheit above normal in terms of the actual temperatures. These are really, really warm temperatures here, and that's going to bring your actual high temperatures up into the mid 90s, even up closer to 105, maybe even 110 in a couple of these areas. So these are going to be really, really warm temperatures for the areas in the northern plains, also into parts of southern and central Canada, and into parts of the Midwest as well. Here would be for Sunday, and you can see now it's moving a little bit further to the east. So now it looks like the bullseye is going to be somewhere over the Great Lakes, also into the northeast, and then into southeastern Canada as well. So Ontario and Quebec mainly, where we're dealing with the above normal temperatures. Still a little bit warmer than normal in the southwest and generally the desert southwest in general. And you can see a little bit of the colder than normal temperatures starting to move in through parts of the northwest and the southeast and southern plains. So it is starting to warm up in many of these areas, but in parts of the northwest, for example, and in parts of the southern plains, that's where it is maybe cooling down a little bit. And it looks like even those areas will go from well below normal or moderately below normal to maybe just a couple degrees below normal. So everywhere is going to heat up relatively, and we're not going to see any part of the country that's going to drastically cool down here. Here would be by Monday, and you can see that the warmer temperatures are starting to get a little bit more amplified, especially into the northern part of the country. You can see that into the northern plains, the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast, we're dealing with well above normal temperatures. And we could still have a few temperatures getting up into the 90s through the northern plains, Northeast, and Great Lakes as well. So definitely still going to be warm into these areas. We are starting to see that cooler air spread down through the west coast. So now it looks like areas that are right along the coast are dealing with those below normal temperatures. But anywhere inland of there and further to the northeast of there is going to be in those above normal temperatures. Here would be by Tuesday. Not a lot has changed on the map. It still looks a little bit warmer in parts of the northern plains, so still it's warm in those areas. It's getting a little bit chillier along parts of the southwest and the western United States in general, where we're dealing with temperatures that are going to be between about 5 to 15 degrees below normal. And then in the southern plains, it is moderating out a little bit, but it is still below normal in terms of the temperatures for those areas. This would be by Tuesday of next week, and here's by Wednesday. Not a lot has changed still. If we go to Thursday, still pretty much the same exact positioning. The only thing that has majorly changed is that the northwest is a lot less chilly, and also parts of the southeast are also warming up a little bit. So instead of being maybe 5 degrees below normal, now you're probably right around your normal temperature, give or take a couple degrees on either side. So we're dealing with much warmer than normal temperatures in the southeast and the northwest compared to what we were dealing with before. Still some of that colder air lingering on to the southwest and the southern plains as well. Here would be the actual high temperatures, and this is going to kind of represent what you might actually be feeling as you step outside on these various days. Instead of just looking at the difference between the normal and what you're actually seeing, we're actually now going to take a look at the high temperatures, and again, this is going to help you kind of visualize how warm these temperatures actually will be. So you're starting off here on Friday, and you can see that we're already dealing with what looks like well above normal temperatures in parts of the northern plains. We have a little pocket of 90 to 100 and maybe even 102 or 103 degrees Fahrenheit in parts of the Dakotas, Wyoming, Montana, and Minnesota, and some of the surrounding areas as well. So it is getting warm, even if you're in that dark red shade. That's 85 or higher, so that is still quite warm. And also in the southwest, this is going to be probably the warmest area on Friday, where we have in some of the desert areas and some of the areas further to the south, maybe getting up near 115 degrees. We saw the national high temperature, of course, today that was up near 118 degrees. We could see that bordering 116 or 117 degrees tomorrow. So it'll still be very, very warm, especially in areas in southern and southeastern California, southern Nevada, and western Arizona. Here to be by Saturday, and you can see that we still have those very warm temperatures in the northern plains and also into parts of the southwest. You are starting to see a little bit of a shift into a chillier pattern in the northwest, and those temperatures in parts of the southeast and the southern plains, while they are below normal, they are still very, very comfortable and nice. You're dealing with temperatures instead of regularly being up into the 90s where it would be a little bit more uncomfortable. Now they're down into the 80s, and even maybe a couple of upper 70s, so that is definitely much more comfortable than what the typical June high temperatures are. So it might actually be a little bit of a good thing to be below normal in those areas. If we go to Sunday, you can see that it moderates out a little bit in terms of the warm air, but it's over a much more widespread area. So we're dealing with a lot of areas getting above 85 into the eastern half of the country, and also into parts of southern Ontario and southern Quebec in Canada. And then we even have a couple of pockets that are getting up near 90 degrees, although those would be in more isolated areas. Here to be by Monday, and you can see the center of the warm air is now pushed into the northern plains once again, and we're still dealing with above normal temperatures into the southwest. Both of those areas could have temperatures that are nearing 95, and in the case of the southwest, maybe even nearing 100 or more degrees Fahrenheit. If we go to Tuesday, it's warming up a lot more in parts of the northern plains by this point. If you're looking at this, these would be temperatures that are rivaling maybe 105 degrees in some parts of Montana, Wyoming, and North Dakota. And it really doesn't make sense when you just look at it geographically, but the real reasoning is because we have a big high pressure dome that's sitting over the northern plains. So the most amplified and warmest temperatures compared to normal are going to be, of course, over the northern plains. So it looks a little bit funny on the map that it's warmer in Montana than it is in Texas or Louisiana, but that's, again, just because of the pattern that we're in. It's kind of an upside down type of pattern. Here would be by Wednesday, and you can see still much warmer in parts of the central United States as a whole, actually. So the Great Plains from north to south now dealing with temperatures that are getting up into the 90s in that gray area, and even as you're getting into the whiter colors, maybe 95 to 100 or even 105 degrees in some parts of the southwest. As you're heading into the eastern United States, also it's going to be quite warm in these areas, getting up into the 90s, and even if you're not in the 90s, probably getting up into the upper 80s. So either way, it will be warm in those areas. And if we look at some of the precipitation numbers, or the amount of rainfall that we're expecting over the next 7 or 8 days, you can see that even though some of these areas were really, really warm, they aren't going to be dealing with a whole lot of rainfall, even in areas in the Pacific Northwest, which are usually quite famous for getting quite a lot of rainfall, for getting many days with rainfall consecutively. So even those areas are going to be below normal in terms of the amount of precipitation, and you can see pretty much no precipitation through the southwest, the Rockies, and then into the northern plains. It does get a lot more active into the southeast, where we are dealing with a rainy pattern and a rainy and stormy pattern. And then in the northeast and the Great Lakes, it is going to be quite rainy, but you will still have a couple days where it is sunny and just dry. So you will have a couple nice days sprinkled in there as well. Here's the 6 to 10 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and as you can see, we have those most above normal temperatures indicated for parts of the northern plains and also into the northeast, and this would be from the 8th all the way to the 12th of June. So this is going from Tuesday to Saturday of this upcoming week, and you can see where the two most above normal areas are, and then you can see a couple pockets where we're expecting below normal temperatures in parts of the southern plains and also along the west coast as well. But you can see how the majority of the country is actually expected to be a little bit above normal. If we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, which goes from the 10th through the 16th, you can see that we have those above normal temperatures centered over the northern tier of the country, with the below normal temperatures from the Climate Prediction Center expected to be over the southern tier of the country, from areas like New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma, all the way into areas like South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. That is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.